Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm here with my good friend Jana Seitzer from Whiskey and Sunshine, and we just had the opportunity to interview Kevin James, star of the new film Home Team, coming exclusively to Netflix this Friday, January 28th. Home Team follows the true story of Coach Sean Payton of the Saints, who had to take a little bit of time off from the NFL due to some things, and he went home to coach his son's Little League football team to championship. One of the things I had to ask Kevin, of course, as a big football fan, was, did you actually get to touch the Vince Lombardi Trophy? Because come on now, who wouldn't want to do that as a football fan, right? It's almost like it calls to you. Well, I'm not going to tell you, but he will. Hi, Kevin. It's so nice to talk to you today. So I thought it was really great that Sean Payton had a cameo at the end of the film. Were you able to spend a lot of time with him to kind of prepare for the role? And was that the real Vince Lombardi Trophy? Did he actually let you touch it?
Word is out that it is real. We've been debating back and forth. I feel like that was the real trophy. And I also heard that Netflix just did not have the budget to create a fake one. So we were completely out of money. And they just said, if we can't get it, we have to go with, a runner-up trophy or something. Somebody had to bring in a Little League trophy or something like that. We had to mock it up and try to make that in. So whatever that trophy was, I think it's, it actually worked. So I think it was the actual one.
That's awesome.
Working with Sean was great. Sean was amazing. I learned so much just spending time with him and learning about the greatest season of coaching in his life, which is, that season. He took the Warriors to the championship and they lost, but it was just amazing for him. And it was such a cool, emotional story for me to hear and to be able to portray. So it was fun.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Kevin, I have, kind of like a serious question when everybody else had these like really fun questions, but okay. You have this major, comedic background, and this role has obviously a fair amount of comedy in it, but it has a lot of heart too. And there's there are a lot of moments of seriousness tied with the levity. How do you kind of approach that as more of a traditional comedian than, somebody who tackles more of these kind of dramatic roles?
I think the story dictates, it's like if the story, asks for jokes or needs jokes or feels like it needs that in comedy. And there's a little bit of it in there, but I am a little bit more of the straight man in certain things in this way. It's more of the way Sean reacted in all this. And Sean's very funny, so it was great to be with him and press the gas on the comedy for a little bit and then be able to sit back and be the guy who's reacting to it, when the comedy's happening around him. And there was plenty of that with the kids and, in the movie. It's nice to switch gears every once in a while and to really hit those emotional scenes and kind of have that, because they also highlight the comedy when it pops, when it does come, the comedy again, after an emotional scene, you're more invested in the movie. And then, that the comedy moments pop more. And they were great. It was a great balance in this movie for me, and it was just a great joy to play somebody who, can be funny, but also very serious. And, was an emotional guy, I loved how emotional he was really when I was talking to him. He's a Super Bowl winning coach, and he was crying, telling me, like, he teared up a couple of times when he was just talking about spending that time with his son, and what it meant to him. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. This is awesome. You can just see the connection. And I was like, that's what meant the most to me.
So you were kind of mentioning the comedy with, everybody else surrounding you. This cast is packed with notoriously funny people, yourself included. Were there a lot of opportunities to improvise the script, and did any of it make it into the final cut?
Yeah, I think stuff with Rob Schneider, he was just ridiculous. I think a lot of stuff with him got in there. We would just roll the cameras and he would just kind of go off on his kind of crazy stuff. He was fantastic. And stuff with my brother, Gary, he did stuff too. And I mean, and the kids even, once we got what we needed, it was great the Canadians who directed this thing, the brothers were so great at letting kids be kids. And a lot of the footage you see is kids really just bonding with each other. They were really, they would just like roll the cameras, don't say anything, because you don't want to force these scenes so much, but there were a lot of scenes where the guys were together and supposed to be as a group. And it would be like, don't tell them anything. They were doing that on their own. They were doing it naturally. So he would do that. They would do that and let them get together. And we would get a lot of funny stuff from these kids, the way they acted. And they were great. It made me really have to say, oh gosh, I got to bring my game up. My goodness, these guys are good. They're funny. They had timing. They were really good. It was really impressive.
It was hilarious. And I agree. Schneider's the scenes with Connor and just like, oh, that one time at the bathhouse, I was like, oh God.
Yeah. Just ridiculous.
Thank you.
So give me a good vomit story from your personal life with your kids.
Yes, I've had a couple, but the thing with vomit in my family is I'm the worst with it. Like if it happens, I go full tilt. So every time one of my kids vomits, there's always a follow. It's like, when you have an earthquake and it's the aftershock that is usually worse. I'm the aftershock. And depending on what I ate that day, it's going to make an appearance. So it depends, my family knows if it happens like at night where I've had a full day of food, we're going to have a show. We're going to have a show after, so it's not fun. It's not a fun thing. That's why my wife, thank God, she can handle it and get in there and clean that stuff up. But if I'm near it, I'm done. I'm out. So I've tried to do it. I've tried to because if I get a smell of it at all, I'm gone. And I've taken Band-Aids with little, cologne. You put it on little dabs of cotton and you put them in your nose and you tape the thing up. And as soon as I go over there, it doesn't matter. I see it. I catch a smell through the band. When it does, it goes off. And it's not a pretty scene.